Hello friends, I hope that you've been well. In today's video, we are going to be going through a winter vlog. So I tend to just compile a bunch of footage over the span of a few months and then just mash them together into a vlog. So that's basically what we're going to get. This vlog started, I think, in November and all the way until February, early March. And basically, yeah, I take you through some painting, me just being a working artist. I go to the aquarium, a concert, I do some try-on hauls, I go to some markets, and that kind of just sums up what I've been getting up to the past few months. So if you are into vlogs, I hope that you enjoy, and I will see you at the end. So back in November, I had placed an order with Sugar Ceramics Co. for a new paint palette, and I wanted to get that free shipping, so I also had grabbed a few new pens, and these are the Pentel Sign Touch pens, I believe is what they're called, and they have a stiff but slightly flexible nib, which I really like. I didn't end up actually sketching with them that day, but I did test them out in my sketchbook here to see the colors and to show you the nice flexible nib that I really like. So I thought I would just sort of take you through a little bit of my process here, starting on the December sticker artwork because Sticker App is currently running a sale. I decided for the month of December, the theme is going to be clowns. And so I just started some sketches here. I originally started out with this gal here with a heart for her entire face. And then I decided I wanted to take advantage of the glitter effects in one of the sticker apps. Really love their glitter effect. And so I decided to switch over to having hearts on both of her eyes. And then I'm thinking on the edges of this heart, we can have glitter effect and then a little glitter effect teardrop. So after I decided I was happy with this sketch, I took a photo of it on my iPad and then I brought the photo of the sketch into Procreate, and basically I lowered the opacity of the sketch photo and I'm going on top of it on a new layer with a cleaned up digital sketch so that it's easier to transfer. And I think I'm just using the default inking brush that's attached or already input in the Procreate app. I did not adjust it in any way. I'm just using it straight as is. And I basically, after I finish doing this cleaned up sketch, I wanted to figure out what colors for the color palette. So I think I'm using the gouache brush, again, just one that is already in the app, and then using the inking brush again for these filled in areas. And yeah, basically I just play around with the saturation and the hues and the values to figure out what color palette looks best. For this clown, I knew for sure that I wanted it to be half of her hair light, half of it dark, kind of like a yin and yang vibe, and then just play off of that with the rest of the accessories. I always get questions about color palettes, and this is more or less kind of how I go about it. I have like one idea in mind, play around with them in the digital app here, and then, just go by eye and see how I feel about it. I did toy with the idea of giving her like an unusual blue or purple lip color, but I realized that it made her look sick, so I ended up opting for the pink. And then here I'm just pulling out a bunch of the watercolors based off of the color palette that I did digitally. And I won't go into detail about my watercolor process. If you're interested in that, I have tons of watercolor process videos on my YouTube channel, but here is my kind of color picking thoughts and color mixing from when I was working on this.
So I'm going to be painting in the like light gray area here, but I was like, what color is this exactly? So a little trick is I'm going to color pick it and take a look at what it looks like actually in the little color chart, I guess. I don't know what to call it. And that way it kind of helps me understand like what I can use to mix this color. So even though it's like an off-white grayish color, you can see that it's like base hue is this magenta, and try and replicate this color. So I'm just going to basically scoop some pink over, clean off my paintbrush so I'm not contaminating my other mixtures here. And I think I'll go for a tiny bit of blue. You can see now we're already getting this muted magenta if I add some water here. Something to note is like the mixture will often look a little bit darker in its concentrated form here on the palette than it will when you actually lay it down on the watercolor paper. So down here is where I'm swatching, and ta-da!
If you're wondering why there is some printed text at the bottom of this piece of paper, basically this is a watercolor paper that I received in this little package, and it was a bunch of samples from this brand Legion of their different watercolor paper types. I used to work at an art supply store, and so I would receive free testing products and little freebies. So this was something I've been hanging on to for a while, and I never really knew what to do with the paper because it felt like such a waste to just use it as a swatch card or something, but the text was printed directly onto the paper, so I couldn't use the full sheet for an illustration. But when I decided to work on this sticker, I realized, oh, I could just use, the most of the paper and then just cut off the bottom. So that's why I have taped it off, and I'm just using the bottom part as a little swatching area. And yeah, the paper was fine. I don't think it really stood out in any way. I'm not very good at discerning all of the nuances, I suppose, with the different brands of watercolor paper that I have. But yeah, this was the cold press 140 pound. The set or the sample pack also came with, I think, a 300 pound and also a hot press. So I will look forward to trying those out at another point. And yeah, the majority of the piece was painted with watercolors, but the line art and the background I used gouache. And then for the little touches of silver, I used an ink by Finetech. When it comes to water-soluble media like watercolors and regular gouache, I tend to just leave them on the paint palettes because I know that they can be reactivated and used again, and I'm definitely somebody who wants to optimize and not waste any art supplies if I can help it. And so here I decided to take a little break from packing shop orders and finish up an illustration that I had in my sketchbook that I had started on a live stream but then didn't finish. So I decided to bust out the paints and then just reuse paints that were already on the palette and finish off this little sketchbook portrait. And the live stream, I believe, is still up on my channel. Basically, it was a painting live stream where I took my followers' requests, fan art requests, and so this was Vampire Jungkook, a member from BTS. He is my bias, and at that time when I was working on this, he had done a vampire photo shoot, and so this is what the portrait is from. And the base of it was mostly acrylic ink and watercolor, but here I'm going in with gouache on top of it to really deepen a lot of the values and bring in some more color. And yeah, I was just trying to get into a better habit of doing more painting and sketching in a more casual way as part of my routine, as opposed to always feeling as though every time I sit down to make art, it has to be a fully realized illustration. And so this was a nice little break from packing shop orders that day. And the other illustrations on this page is Persephone from Laura Olympus and a kind of demon Calcifer Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. So I was in the middle of working on this new video and illustration, and this morning I went to turn on this lamp that I have that I use to film, and unfortunately it looks like it's broken. So I love that for me. I just sent an email out to the company, so hopefully we can get some kind of compensation or replacement or something. I don't know, but it's just really unfortunate timing because I'm literally in the middle of this. So thankfully I have a backup light that I can use, so I will set that up now. Okay, so my backup is set up. It is the light that I first bought when I started my YouTube channel, and technically it still functions, but the elasticity and Velcro that keeps this like light box thing on top of the light has like loosened quite a bit over time, and so it falls off a lot, so it's not very secure. Anyway, but I'm glad that I have a backup because this video needs to be done and posted tomorrow, so I'm really cutting it down to the wire here. So last minute of me all the time. I'm so stressed out. Anyway, so hopefully no more hiccups.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tag this place.
Russell and
I was just like going for 2 buys. Well, I did buy it technically for art, but also
I do really like this page actually. I really liked this. The brown, yeah.
the brown ink, man.
Yeah, you really like a brown ink.
I love
Yeah.
the brown ink.
And Nicole was like, just really that campaign that he ran is just so full of hopeless. Yeah, but I mean, he made a big moment out of it.
Thank you.
Sometimes I take it to places where I know I'm gonna be stuck sitting on a hard chair. I had a lot of times when I covered for Dave, I think it's gonna be a couple of weeks. College student, I did where you're working.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you're saying the draft over there
I love it all. In December, my friend from college came to visit in Toronto, and since she's not here very often, I figured we would do some very Toronto type things. So we did the Christmas market in the distillery district, grabbed dinner, and then we headed over to the Ripley's Aquarium, which I hadn't been to in a few years. So it's always quite magical to just take in the ambiance and see all of the amazing creatures and aquatic life. It's very inspiring, even though this is not something that I typically include in my illustration work, but definitely something that I want to do more often because it's really just so mesmerizing. I've been a big fan of the 1975 for many years, so I was glad to finally have saw them, and this was incredible. Like, I was not expecting the full production and the set, the lighting design, the storyline is very conceptual, incredible show. I highly recommend checking them out live if you're a fan of them, and yeah, it was an amazing time. And moving into the new year, 2023, I finally started a new bullet journal. This is by the brand Leuchtturm. My previous bullet journal was the same brand, and I'd been hanging on to this one for a while. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I used to work at an art supply store, and at that time, they had a representative in for a few days where they did custom embossing all on the notebooks. So as you can see, I of course had to get I'm a Wonder embossed into mine. So I also wanted to add some stickers, of course, to customize it. And I'll have all the artist stickers that got onto my bullet journal tagged on the screen above here. Towards the beginning of every month, I pack the previous month's Patreon rewards. So as you can see, I am packing the December Patreon rewards, which, as you would have seen earlier, was the clown theme. And you can see the illustration that we were working on earlier as the fully printed realized sticker there, and the illustration print that I did to go along with her. I actually really liked how these ones turned out. The color palette, this blue, purple, pink color palette, is definitely something I think that is slowly becoming part of what makes my work recognizable. It just seems to be my default or comfort zone color palette that I work in very often. And yeah, I was just really smitten with these clown character designs. I really want to revisit them, especially the girl with the half white, half black hair. And yeah, if you are interested in picking these up, even though the month has now since passed, I now have a Patreon secret shop where you can purchase the leftover ones.
Hello friends, Happy New Year. I just got all kind of dolled up here I filmed the intro to my monthly favorites sketchbook video, so I figured this was the perfect time to also show you some of my Depop purchases. So I am wearing this white scalloped top here that I got
And I am obsessed with this dark green corduroy pinafore dress. It was a little long, so I did actually get my aunt to hem it a little shorter for me, just because I'm 5'3", so I find that I need, if it's gonna be short, it needs to be like mid-thigh-ish, and then if it's gonna be long, I want it to be like midi, so like past the knee generally. I think this might be like a slightly less exciting item that I got from Depop. I actually just cropped it, like I just cut it myself right now. What I did was I took a pre-existing cropped sweater thing that I already own that's like very similar, and I just measured it to that. And then unfortunately I also got this skirt off of Depop, but it is a little too long for me. Like, it has such cool details on it. I love the way that these like buckles are and like the little hardware and stuff. And in this style, I would have liked it to be more of like a mini skirt on me, so like mid-thigh. And unlike the pinafore dress, this is definitely not as easily shortened because of the way that the zipper is on this one. So this unfortunately didn't work out. I'm going to have to what do they call it on repop it. Then I also got this men's extra large dragon button-up shirt. I kind of underestimated how large a men's extra large button-up shirt was gonna be, but I loved the dragon print on this. It just feels really cool. Okay, but now, I don't know if you can tell, but basically I undid all of the buttons and then kind of wrapped it and threw on a belt, and now it's like this cool wrap dress, because the length for me works like as a kind of short mini dress. I don't know if I am all fully in frame here, but yeah, so I kind of dig it. But anyway, to catch you guys up on what I've been up to, I have been kind of slowly easing back into work. The kind of period after Christmas and New Year's Day, I took it easy. I didn't really do much work. I mostly just like saw family and friends. And so now I'm doing all of my Patreon stuff, and I'm about to finish up a YouTube video, and I'm gonna run some errands after chatting with you here. And I actually am so excited. I just booked flight tickets to Japan. I've never been to Japan. I haven't traveled outside the country since before the pandemic. But anyway, I think that is it for me. I will chat with you later. Hello friends, it is January 12th and I am trying to get into the habit of warming up with some sketches in the morning. So I have my ugly sketchbook here, and lately I have been attempting to draw all of the members from 17, and so I've dedicated a page to each member, and I'm like alternating between them, trying to get their likeness and also just use it as a portrait study exercise. Anyway, but I've been doing the highlighter and ballpoint pen combination for these sketches. I was mainly using the pink and the teal. I actually just purchased some new ones, which I'm really excited about. This one I already had, which I had been using quite a lot. It's probably my favorite. It was running low, like it was starting to, the old one was drying out, so I bought a new one. And then I also got 3 new colors. I really like the cool tone with the blue, and I obviously like the pink with the blue, so I also got this kind of corally color. So I am on Pinterest here trying to look for a suitable reference photo, and for these portrait studies I try to find a photo that has a clear light source. Okay, so I think I'm going to maybe go with this photo. It's still got like really soft lighting overall, but you can see the shadow very distinctly on the jawline there, and you can see some shadows on the nose. So you can tell that there's a light source coming from kind of the top right. And that just makes my life a little bit easier in terms of going in on the sketch. So let's go with that. What I like about these is they're double-ended. So one side has a chisel and then the other side has the fine tip. And the fine tip is what I'm going to be using for the sketch, under sketch here. And I just map out really roughly the head. It's probably gonna end up encroaching on the other portrait here because I'm bad at placing and sizing things properly, but it's fine. It's just meant to be a study, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Usually start out with the nose first. I find that it's anchors all of the other features in the face, personally. And then usually I go with the lips. S.coups has very pouty lips, and his upper lip is just slightly bigger than his bottom lip. Something that I've been asked about more often recently is how to capture somebody's likeness while also maintaining your own art style. And this will vary depending on if this is a fictional character or if this is a real person. And so in the case of these 17 portraits, these are real people, they're not characters. And the reason why I've been doing all these portrait studies, not only is it just a more fun way for me to practice and do like portraiture studies, but also I think that in drawing each person multiple times, it will give me a better sense on their unique features, and hopefully when I go to do a illustration of them, like a more finished illustration, I will have a much more familiar handle on the things that make them stand out and make them more recognizable and more familiar, and will have just my natural art style sort of come through. So yeah, it's kind of hard to explain because a lot of it is intuitive, but practice really does make such a huge difference. And I found that with doing all of these portraits, there was always hits and misses no matter who it was. I think I'm gonna leave the sketch there. It's not bad. I think this one, definitely reads more as him. This one is almost there. I don't know. Maybe it's this eye. Is it this eye that's bothering me? I don't know. I mean, I also didn't fill in the hair super dark like the photo. He's got mostly dark hair. Anyways, I'm just gonna leave it there. We're having a nail party, and I'm obviously going to use these. As a way to save some money, my friends and I decided to have an arts and crafts day. At least that was the intention. I had pulled out some embroidery supplies, I had pulled out some clay, but then in the end, we just ended up painting our nails, which was really fun. My friend had a bunch of these really cute BT21 nail art stickers, so I of course had to do it. I unfortunately don't have a final shot of my nails, but one thumb had Jimmy and the other thumb had Tata, aka Veman, because of course I did. And honestly, it was really fun and they looked cute from afar, but up close they were really wrinkly and wonky, so it was probably not the best result, but the process of it was still very fun. Hello, friends. I am currently extremely frustrated trying to film this sponsorship video. Basically, it's for a clothing brand, and I'm very excited about the clothes and I'm excited about this sponsorship. However, I might have alluded to this many times before,
but my space isn't actually that big and I don't get a ton of great natural light, and it has been extremely gloomy the past several weeks. And so trying to get nice lit footage that is also like mostly full body shot. Now I'm getting a phone call. Okay, hold on. Okay, so yeah, I tried filming in my studio. It's too cramped, like I can't get like a proper full shot. And then I tried filming in my bedroom, but it was way too dark. And now we are in my living room. Anyway, so now I'm just going off of a studio light because I have no windows in my living room. So anyway, hopefully this works. I received a package. I believe these are my new glasses. So that's nice. I will try those on later because I'm wearing contacts right now. Wow, this is so chaotic. Anyway, I am going to look at this footage, see if it looks okay, if it sounds okay, and hopefully I can get around to actually filming this outfit thing. Whew, okay, I am back. I have, I think, successfully filmed the video. And now that we're here, because it is way too late for me to actually go to the art gallery right now, I thought, let's open up these glasses that I got. Ooh. This is not sponsored, by the way, but these are from Warby Parker, if anyone's wondering. So those are the glasses. I can barely see anything because it's like double prescription. I've got contacts in and now wearing my glasses, but this is what they look like. I hope they look cute. What do we think of being in my living room? I normally am not in here for my vlogs, but it's kind of fun. Something that I am hoping to do this year is to get some shelving, I think, like wall shelves up here so I can display more artwork and kind of knickknacks and things. And then I think the area above my TV here, I want to do another gallery wall of more artwork. But yeah, now that I'm not going to film my art date video, I guess, now I'm going to work on editing my Patreon video. So yeah, I'll catch you later. Hello friends, it is January 30th and I thought I would pop in and just show you a new kind of organization setup that I have here. So I have been really into buying these foldable plastic crates. As some of you might know, on my Patreon page, I have a print and sticker reward tier, and every month I always try to order extras just in case, you know, somebody's reward gets lost in the mail. So you can see here I have them kind of stacked in these crates, and I put them in these glassine sleeves because I want the print and sticker to be organized together, especially since my YouTube channel has sort of taken a nosedive the past like year or so, and this month has been the time that I'm filming this right now. It's kind of taken an all-time low, which is a little bit tough on me mentally, but I mean, I always am, but I'm even more grateful and thankful to have a Patreon page because the support on there is what allows me to continue to pay my bills and to function as a full-time artist. That being said, I'm now in the process of creating a secret Patreon shop. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set up this secret shop with all of the past rewards and give them at a little bit of a discount for like the older ones. And the secret Patreon shop will be open for any patron, tiers starting at $2 up till $14. Then this evening I will be continuing my K-pop dance lessons. I've been going to K-pop dance lessons the past month, and that's actually been really fun. It's been
a new challenge for me. I've never taken dance lessons before, and it's definitely like very beginner friendly and really easygoing. And yeah, it's nice to have a hobby that has nothing to do with my job, and hopefully, you know, I retain some dance moves maybe. But anyway, that's it for me. I will talk to you later. But so cute. Oh, so sad. Yeah, I do. I have the sneaky D.
Is that one from Spicy Store?
I got...
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys would have seen in the vlog, I had to finagle a lighting situation because my previous light broke. So I finally invested in a new setup here so that I didn't have to deal with a light box that was falling apart and one that had to be on the ground. And so these two bad boys are such a great space saver. So they just clamp onto the side of the desk. They are adjustable in height and in the angle. They actually also have a dimmable dial on the back, and they also have a light dial for the warmth and coolness of the light as well. I'm really happy with them so far. Another update that is not new, but in terms of my previous video where I had shown my filming situation, it's definitely been updated. So this is actually, yeah, I don't know, I forget what it's called, but this is technically actually for a monitor. And so this is also similar to the lights. It clamps onto the desk, and then it's got this swiveling arm. And so you're actually supposed to mount your monitor onto this so that you can have an adjusting height for the monitor. But I bought this little attachment here, and I actually attach my filming camera to it to film top-down angles. And this thing is, because it's meant to hold a monitor, it's very sturdy and like really stable to hold my camera. There are like tripods that are not meant for monitors that will serve this purpose as well, but this is just the setup that I had purchased a while back. And this is my cute little Cheeto Puff friend. So that is my new filming setup, and yeah, definitely a huge space saver. And this is what I'm currently working on. This is the April Patreon sticker. So for the month of March, I did the Luna character here. And so to match, we're gonna have the sun character, my little sun goddess, as the pairing. And I think they will look really, really cute together if you receive both rewards. But yeah, that's my little update for you. I also finally invested in a webcam. So when I come back from my Japan trip, I will finally troubleshoot how to use this so that I can actually have a face cam for my live streams in the future. So I think that will be a nice addition, especially since my live streams are so chatty. But that will be something that I will worry about when I come back from my trip. To accompany my Luna sticker for the Patreon rewards for the month of March, I'm working on the Luna Moon Goddess illustration for the print. And I've talked about this in length in my Patreon podcast, but basically I've been trying to be a little bit more selfish with my art and my art making, and some of those things being the fact that illustrating and painting and drawing is honestly a lot easier when I'm not filming, because I'm just so very conscious of when I'm filming. There's a lot of moving parts to think about. And so another part of it is also just painting bigger, even if I don't think that it's necessary. For whatever reason, I got into my head that if it's for a Patreon reward or if it's just a portrait, I should be painting smaller because that's faster or more efficient. But I recently realized that painting larger, even if it's just a portrait, will probably make my life easier, because that way I can get into the details in a much more easy way. And so here I'm working on a 9x12 watercolor paper, and while I did film a little bit of it, the majority of this painting I didn't film, and it was really liberating and just so much fun to work on without the performance anxiety of filming. So yeah, that's just kind of the mindset that I've been trying to adopt. I'm still going to continue obviously having an active YouTube channel, but I am going to take some time to work in illustrations that I don't need to film. And my patrons do get to see photos and progress illustration kind of background stuff for these. So if you're interested in seeing all of that kind of content, that reward tier is only $5. So yeah, but anyway, I just want to reiterate that you do not have to support me on Patreon. I know that I talk about it a lot, but it is something that I spend a lot of my time working on, and it is the main income source for me. So no pressure, seriously. I just wanted to let you know that what kind of things you can see on that platform. But yeah, as this video is winding down, I just want to thank all of you for watching this video and interacting with my content on YouTube and on Instagram. That is also a great way to support me without having it to be monetarily on Patreon. So I really appreciate all of your comments and likes and all of that good stuff. So thank you so much for being here. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope that you enjoyed coming along with me for the past couple of months. I am about to go to Japan for the very first time, and I am so excited. So definitely look forward to lots of Japan footage and content when I come back. I'm definitely going to try my best to vlog as much as possible, and I'm gonna be so obnoxious on Instagram posting about that trip, I'm sure. So follow me on Instagram if you don't already, and subscribe and all those YouTube things that I never say. I hope that you enjoyed, and I appreciate all of the support and love that I get from you. It means a lot to me, and I'll have all of my links in the description. And I hope that you have an amazing day or evening wherever you're at, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye! Isn't this shirt so fun?